Gordon Chang's shock regarding China's collapse and nuclear secrets through the lens of ESQ Andre. The story begins with a shocking assessment from lawyer Gordon Chang, an expert with profound knowledge of the Northeast Asian political situation. Against the backdrop of China undergoing fierce internal purges targeting high-ranking generals like Zhang Yuxia, Gordon Chang posted a brief but weighty status on social media. He asserted that China is standing right on the precipice of collapse and issued a stern warning that the world should not try to save China at this time, as such efforts would yield no benefit. According to the narrator's analysis, Gordon Chang's usual style is to deliver short and direct messages. So his mention of the word collapse suggests the actual situation is likely far more critical than what appears on the surface, especially as the country's military is disintegrating from within. The development delves deeper into the details of the purge, where outwardly, generals like Zhang Yuxia are accused of involvement in internal corruption. However, the issue does not stop at a single individual, but has spread to Liu Zhenli, a core confidant who is also being swept into this whirlwind of purges. A horrifying statistic was presented. Out of a total of 7 members of the Central Military Commission, 5 have been removed. This implies that the brain of China's military command has been almost completely paralyzed. Currently, only Xi Jinping remains as chairman, and Zhang Yuxia, who was vice chairman, has now also fallen, causing the entire military power structure to collapse. Analysis at this point shows that in China, whoever holds military power holds the world. But when the very people holding the guns turn their backs on the supreme leader, it is a sign of doom. Although corruption was cited as a smokescreen, other sources have revealed a much more earth-shattering truth. The Wall Street Journal published exclusive information stating that the core reason Zhang Yuxia was brought down was that he leaked China's nuclear secrets to the U.S. This information reportedly leaked from the interrogation process of the CEO of the China National Nuclear Corporation. This is a powerful slap to the regime's prestige because Zhang Yuxia is no stranger. He was once a sworn brother close to Xi Jinping, and both belonged to the Princeling's faction. The fact that someone who was once a capable right-hand man is now accused of treason and removed shows that the Chinese military is rotting from the very roots. This event is not merely about anti-corruption, but is actually a life and death struggle where Xi Jinping realized the threat of a coup from within and struck first to counterattack. The situation has become extremely tense as thousands of military officers promoted under Zhang Yuxia and Liu Zhenli are currently living in fear, knowing they are on the purge list. Mobile phones of military personnel at all ranks have been confiscated, and the entire army has been placed on high alert. Wei Ling, a Wall Street Journal reporter specializing in China, noted that this investigation demonstrates the central government's zero-tolerance attitude toward both corruption and betrayal. Whether the reason is leaking nuclear secrets or corruption, the final result remains an irreparable rift between Xi Jinping and the military, making the regime more fragile than ever. China's gloomy picture is further darkened by a dismal economic situation. The economy, once growing hotly, has stalled with a series of ghost cities where apartment buildings stand empty after completion. The unemployment rate is at an alarming level where 1 in every 2 youths cannot find a job, and public debt has reached a colossal figure described as 8 quadrillion. In the context of an economic collapse, with the military once considered the fortress, protecting the regime also turning its back, the ambition to invade Taiwan is considered to have evaporated. Xi Jinping seems to be in shock upon discovering that those pointing guns at him were lying right under his chin. Although the military commission had issued a notice accepting corruption reports since 2017. The fact that Zhang Yuxia is only being dealt with now suggests Xi Jinping may have been blinded or the opposing forces were too strong. Xi Jinping's isolation is becoming increasingly apparent as the Central Military Commission now effectively consists only of him and Jiang Shengmin, who was promoted just last year. Constant rumors of a coup are entirely grounded in the context of eroding centralized power. Looking further into the future, China's collapse is predicted to follow a scenario similar to the old Soviet Union. China is inherently a collection of many different ethnic groups and languages held together by hard power. So when the center weakens, disintegration into independent states like the CIS bloc is inevitable. This is analyzed as a historic opportunity for South Korea to unify the peninsula and even expand territorial influence northward. Finally, external factors are also backing China into a corner. The Trump administration is aggressively investigating election fraud and possesses evidence related to the interference of Wang Huning, the fourth most powerful figure in China. International monitoring organizations have also spoken up about this issue, with underground activities exposed and the supply of cheap oil from Iran or Venezuela cut off due to sanctions and international isolation. China is facing enemies on all four sides. The dream of Chinese rejuvenation or reclaiming Taiwan has now become more distant than ever as the interior is rebellious and the exterior is besieged by sanctions. Based on the disintegration of the Central Military Commission and the panic within the officer ranks, it is very possible that in the short term, Xi Jinping will impose martial law or increase extreme social control measures to maintain power. However, pressure from a dying economy combined with military dissatisfaction could lead to unpredictable fluctuations, possibly even local armed conflicts between military regions or the rise of separatist movements in border areas. The fact that the U.S. possesses nuclear secrets will likely lead Washington to take tougher diplomatic and military steps, forcing China to make concessions on many international fronts, further weakening Xi Jinping's position. The story of Gordon Chang's warning and the leaked nuclear secrets has painted a panoramic view of the irreversible decline of a superpower. It shows that no fortress is eternal if its foundation is built on fear and corruption. Will this collapse bring opportunities or challenges for neighboring countries, including Vietnam and South Korea? Please leave your comments and opinions below. And don't forget to follow the ESQ Andre channel to continue updating with the sharpest and most authentic geopolitical analyses on the next hot developments.